Hi, everyone. This is Melanie Mirzayan. Sorry, guys, give me 1 second. Things are popping up on my screen. Okay. Hi, everybody. I am Melanie Mirzayan. I'm the owner of Wild Bakes and Cakes. Thank you for joining me in this fun class. Today, we are going to learn how to make gourmet waffles on a stick. Now, these things have been trending for a while now. They're super fun. You can create, the healthy version for the breakfast for the kiddos, or you could just go all creative and do fun things with them for parties. They make great little desserts for gatherings and things like that. Okay, so today I will talk about ingredients a little bit. I will talk about decorating and the proper way of actually getting them incorporated in your waffle maker with how the sticks go in and all that good stuff. Okay, so with that said, let's go to the top-down camera and we'll go over some of the things that we need for the class. Okay, so mainly, if you guys are following along today, you are going to need a waffle maker. There's no specific kind. It's literally whatever you have and whatever you want to use. I have it's a bigger one and it's got, I don't know if you guys could see it. I'll move my camera over a little bit. It has 4 slots in there, 4 square slots. So this could be round. I also have a super cute one that has dinosaurs in there for my son. So you guys could have fun and do stuff like that as well. Okay. So make sure your waffle maker is nice and toasty and ready to go. And let's see. So you will definitely need your waffle mix. You guys can get this in a pre-made boxes from the stores, or I did attach a recipe in the class handout section. You guys are more than welcome to use the recipes I attach or not. It's just a preference. And let's see, we will also need our chocolates to decorate our cute little waffles. I'm going to do purple, blue, and our traditional brown chocolate, okay? And these are just optional in a sense where you can pretty much do whatever color you want to do. Michael's has a lot of, so this is the Sweet Tooth Berry brand that I like from Michael's. They have bazillion different shades of the chocolates you guys can get from there. So it just depends on, are you theming it for a party or is it your kids, favorite color? That approach. I've also had a lot of people ask in the past classes, can we get white chocolate and color it ourselves instead of buying the colored ones? And absolutely, you can buy, it's the same thing, it's just white chocolate. So you would buy the white chocolate and the coloring mix. The food coloring that you would get would have to be oil based. So just, be mindful when you're reading labels, make sure you grab the correct one. Okay. And as far as melting these chocolates, I always talk about it just because sometimes if it's your first time melting these guys, they're super easy to work with, don't get me wrong, but sometimes it's kind of tricky and you end up burning your chocolate and it gets really frustrating because you're like, I'm following the instructions, I don't know what's going on. I've been in that place, so I know. Um, so I'm just gonna run through it real quick, okay? So when you guys are melting these chocolates, you have to set your microwave at 50% power. Okay, so don't do it at 100% because you will end up burning your chocolate. And once the chocolate is burned, unfortunately, not much you can do. Okay, so 50% power, you're gonna set it for 1 minute. And once you take it out, again, make sure you're using a microwavable glass bowl. Those are the best, that's the best way to go. And give it a good mix, okay? So as you're mixing, your bowl is also hot, so it's also continues to melt the chocolate. Okay, so get it to a place where you're like, okay, I still have lumpiness in my chocolate, I need to pop it back in. And then you would do 30-second increments until you get the consistency that you want. Okay. Again, be mindful because you can burn your chocolate if you put it in there for a long time. They also give instructions to add 2 teaspoons of vegetable shortening before you melt the chocolate if you want the consistency of your chocolate to be thinner. And that's good when you're dipping things. Okay, so when you're dipping your cake pops, then you want the consistency of your chocolate to be on the thinner side. Okay. However, for me, I have tried it with the vegetable shortening. It clumps up my chocolate. So instead of that, I use coconut oil. So you guys could substitute with that as well. Okay. So that's all I'm going to talk about chocolate. And you are going to need your fresh fruits if that's what you want to decorate it with. Blueberries are the best. Strawberries, raspberries, literally all the berries work really good for this. And I'll chop up my bananas in a little bit. And you need your fun little decorating sprinkles. And again, this is just for fun, and whatever you guys want to do, go with that approach. Okay. You will need your piping bag to drizzle and decorate or drizzle the chocolate and decorate the waffles with it. And just be mindful of the size that you guys buy. The 16-inch is pretty big. You want to maybe stick with a 12-inch. For projects like this, if you're using a little bit of chocolate to drizzle a few little things, you don't want a humongous bag to work with. Okay. And the fun little surprise for today that I wanted to talk about are sweet potatoes. I know a lot of people don't like sweet potatoes, but they're actually pretty good in waffles. And I'll tell you a couple of reasons why. If you I don't know if you guys have ever worked with like purple sweet potatoes or the orange ones, but so the thinking behind it was my son didn't want to eat them, and I wanted to do a healthier approach with the waffle mixes. I wanted to start cutting out the refined sugars, the white sugars in there. And I thought to myself, okay, so what can I do to make these things fun? Give it a good fun color, maybe give it some sort of natural sweetness to it, some sort of vegetable, something healthy in there. So I started experimenting with sweet potatoes. So what I did was I cook the purple sweet potato. So you would peel it, chop it, and put it in boiling water, just like you're making regular mashed potatoes. Okay, so until it gets like mushy. And you put it in a blender, or I put it in my bullet, and you kind of cream it like this. And I just love how beautiful the color is. This is such a pretty color, the purple. Okay, so I usually do the purple one, and then you guys could do the same with the orange one. Okay, just remember they cook, they don't need to cook as long as regular potatoes, I guess. So they get mushy pretty quickly. So just be mindful of that. And what you do is, and I'll show you guys the process. When you're mixing, when you're getting ready, getting your waffle mix ready, then you put in maybe a tablespoon to start with, maybe 2 tablespoons in your waffle mix. And, you pour your milk and then all of that, and you get your waffles started. So the fun thing is, with the purple sweet potato, I found if it's just by itself, it retains its color. Okay. But once you put it in like a waffle mix that contains like baking soda or baking powder, and I think it's the chemical mixture of them too, it literally will turn your waffle completely fun blue color. So there's no more purple, it turns blue. So the kids love it. They think it's the funnest thing. I tell my son, oh, it's the Dr. Seuss blue. And it also gives the waffle a little bit of sweetness, so you can kind of get away from adding the white sugars in there. Okay, so that's why I started incorporating in there. And then another fun fact is if you combine both of them, so if you put a little bit of your orange sweet potato and a little bit of the purple sweet potato in your waffle mix, your waffles are going to turn green, like bright forest green. It's the coolest thing. Again, you guys, some of you guys might have already done this, but when I was experimenting and these colors were popping up, it was kind of exciting. So I wanted to show it to you guys today. All right. So let's kind of get started. I already got my chocolates melted, ready to go. So you want to get started on that if you're following along. All right, so it's just, you want to get that kind of smooth consistency for your chocolate. So I have my blue, I have my traditional chocolate. All right, and I'm going to do a little bit of purple. And again, you guys can theme these things for whatever you want. For example, you could do like a s'mores version of it. So for that, you would drizzle your regular chocolate. Maybe you would put on some one of the mini chocolate chips on there, and then the mini marshmallows on there. So again, it's fun. So whatever you guys want to do today, that's fine. If you want to follow me, that's all good as well. All right. So I'm gonna clear this up. We have our waffle mix, and we are going to start mixing these guys. So I'm going to try and do one with both the yellow or the orange and the purple one, and then one I'll do just the purple, just so you guys could see the color difference. Okay. And again, it doesn't have to be a lot, but you do need at least like a tablespoon or so in there. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and put my mix in there, just like that. Maybe. And here is my orange one. So I'll go ahead and put a good chunk in there. And again, if you guys are worried if your kids are going to eat it and know the difference, sometimes they will. Most of the time, if you're already covering it up with berries and honey and other toppings on there, they won't even notice the difference. They'll get super excited about the color and just kind of forget that there's no sugar in there. At least that's my hope. Okay, so we're going to add our purple one in there as well, just to kind of see what happens. And if you guys end up making these and come up with your own cool recipe, or you come across a fun new color, I would love to get your thoughts on there and send me a message on Instagram, Wild Bakes. I would love to know what you guys do and what your kids end up liking or not liking. All right, I'm gonna get this ready to go. So for your waffle maker, what you want to do is make sure it's nicely greased, right? You sprayed it and it's ready to go. And you want to put the sticks kind of at an angle. It all depends on how the lid closes on your machine there. So I'm going to try mine a couple different ways and see how I can get the door closed. Okay, so essentially, when you pour the batter, you want it to cover the sticks. Okay, and it'll be easier to pick it up. And obviously, if it's all kind of connected, you can cut it up in pieces, do fun shapes with it. You could do all kinds of things. Okay, so I'm gonna try mine different places and see what I can do with it. All right. Let's get this all mixed up. Just like that. And I know they have a lot of different waffle makers. They have some of them that are like super cool. They're kind of long, and you do the stick at the end. They look super fun, and you could dip those in chocolate. You can decorate them different ways. Obviously it doesn't have to be perfect squares. You can just kind of pour things in there and let it do its thing, and it'll have fun little patterns to it. Okay. So let's get this nicely mixed, and then we'll pop them in there and see what we get. All right. Hope you guys are having a good morning so far. I'm in Texas and the weather has cooled down a lot, but it's still very humid, which I do not like. But what can you do? All right, so now that we have our waffle mix ready to go, I'm gonna go ahead and pour it in there. And I'm just gonna go wild. Okay, I'm just gonna pour whatever, wherever, but making sure that you're covering at least the sticks to a certain point because those need to get covered up. All right, you guys can see. And then close it up for a few minutes and see what we get. And if you haven't melted your chocolate yet, this is probably a good time just to go ahead and get that done, okay? Make sure mine are still kind of melted and ready to go. All right, so the waffle, it usually doesn't take that long, few minutes. Again, it all depends on what brand you have and how big it is and all that fun stuff. I'm gonna, while that's cooking, I'm gonna clean up my mess a little bit here and get my bananas chopped up for my healthy option. I just want to do tiny little slices. Just like that.
Melanie, do you have a particular recipe that you're using for your waffles?
I'm using the one that I attached to the class handout. The only thing that I'm not putting in mine are eggs. And I will talk a little bit about the whole kind of healthy and food allergy stuff as well. My son he was allergic to eggs and nuts. So I couldn't put eggs in anything that I baked, right? Especially like the waffles. So I started not incorporating those in there and it comes out just fine. Okay, especially if you're using kind of the sweet potatoes where you're bringing in that extra moisture in there, it works well. So just a side note on that. Okay, I'm gonna check my, and if you, for some reason, if you guys didn't get to see the attachment or anything, please send me a message on Instagram and I'll make sure I get that to you guys. All right, let's see. I think these are almost done. And yep, they turned green. Sometimes they turn super dark green, sometimes they're light green. I guess it just all depends how much sweet potato you end up adding in there. All right. So we have this ready to go. Now we need to kind of move them out of there without it breaking because they're all kind of attached. Okay, so let me see if I can cut mine. So that's what I mean. You get like all kinds of weird shapes, right? You can make it where it's completely square if that's what you want to do, but you have to make sure you cover the entire thing, right, with your batter. So I'm going to let this sit for maybe a few more seconds. It's a little bit mushy, and then kind of go from there. All right. Do you guys have any questions while we're waiting for this thing, or any comments? Have you guys worked with sweet potatoes before and changed the color of whatever it is you guys are doing? I would love to know. All right. I think we are in a good place. So, and I have parchment paper is my best friend. So I have it like literally everywhere. I'm gonna get these guys. So can you guys see how it turned green? Obviously the top part is, not the burnt part, but it's like the crispier part, which is a little bit brown. But for the most part, we have green waffles. Okay. So I'm gonna let that cool a little bit. And let me do another batch real quick with the purple one. And while that's cooking, I'll go ahead and start decorating these for you guys, okay? So that way maybe we can compare the color and see how that comes out. So now I'm just only going to do the purple sweet potato. All right. I'm gonna put a good chunk of it in there. All right, get my milk. So next class is on September 12th. And that one I'm doing something completely different. This is for all the moms who have family members or kids that have a lot of food allergies and can't really eat a lot of baked goods because of that. It becomes challenging. Believe me, I've been there, I know. So we are going to learn how to make gluten-free, nut-free, dairy-free banana bread with chocolate chips. And we will also make frosting, a dairy-free frosting. And I'll show you guys how to decorate them and make them super cute. And I will definitely share the recipe with you guys as well. So if you're interested in a class that kind of talks about the ingredients and doing something a little bit different for people who have food allergens, then that would be a good class for you guys to sign up to. Okay. So now I have my purple one ready to go, and I'm gonna go ahead and put this in the waffle maker. All right. And I always like to add cinnamon also tastes really good with sweet potatoes. So that adds a little bit more, it's not sweet, but kind of gives the illusion of sweetness, I guess. All right, so I'm gonna put my sticks back in. Okay, and I will get this in there. Make sure I cover it up nicely so the stick doesn't end up falling out. Okay, make sure that's all in there. Get this one going as well. And these are so fun and so easy that you could do. You just have to do the prep ahead of time and then just have fun with it, you know? Like I said, these also make great party desserts as well. If you make them, decorate them super cute, give them a personality. All right, so I'm gonna move this out of the way for a second. So we have our green waffles on a stick ready to go. And there's different ways we can kind of drizzle chocolate over them, or we can dip them. So I'm going to go ahead and maybe dip my little guy in this chocolate one. Okay. And just remember, if your waffle is a little bit on the mushy side, you want to be mindful about your waffle doesn't kind of like fall apart, right? So you just want to guide it in there and get it dipped. All right, and kind of shake off the excess chocolate. So we have that one. And quick note on decorating. So you want to start putting on your sprinkles right when the chocolate is wet. Okay, so that way you get it to stick to your dessert. All right. So I have these cute little blue ones that I got from Michael, and I think this is from the Sweet Tooth Fairy brand as well. And now that it's fall, you guys, they have so many cool Halloween stuff that they came out, fun colors. I can't wait to go do my Halloween shopping. All right, so we have our cute one done. And for drizzling, so the bags, I will show you one with the bag. Sorry, and mine are actually kind of on the big side.
Melanie, we had, oh, sorry to interrupt. We had someone ask if you could add fruit to the actual waffle itself.
Like before you bake it?
Yeah.
I think so. You can definitely mush in. Bananas are always really good. You can put in blueberries, are definitely really good. Strawberries might get a little bit watery. So I would maybe stay away from the strawberries, but I've definitely done the blueberries and the bananas and they taste great. So you can definitely add those in there. And you can, like I said, you know, the fun way to decorate these guys with fruits. Now that we're talking about fruits, you can start kind of adding in your little blueberries in the tiny little holes, right? Just like that. You can alternate colors, maybe do like a raspberry and a blueberry, or just cover the entire thing with blueberry, just like that. And then we're gonna drizzle this with our chocolates. And our next one, maybe we'll do, oh, let me check. Oh, that one turned green as well. Okay. So we will put in bananas on this one. Okay. And again, you can know, you can have super fun with it. Whatever the kids like, whatever you guys like. All right, let me take these guys out real quick. So this one, I only used the purple and it turned out greener than the first one. So you just never know what you're gonna get, but they're super fun to work with. All right, so can you guys see how the color changed? And we didn't use any artificial colors or anything like that in there. So that's kind of a fun, healthier way, I guess, of adding color to your waffles. And this also goes for pancakes as well. It's the same process, okay? There we go. Move this out of the way. Let me actually unplug this guy. All right. So now we have our fruits, we have our chocolate, and let's pipe some chocolate. So I have my bag. I'm going to put in some chocolate in there. Now, if you guys don't have, if you're doing a small project and you don't happen to have a piping bag in hand, you can definitely use a Ziploc bag. And I'll show you my next color with the bag, just so you guys can see how this one works too. This is a cool little trick. So you put in your chocolate and you have to make sure you get the ones that are flat at the bottom, because there are some, I think they're the freezer bags that they have like kind of a pocket in there. Those are not going to work. So you want to make sure you stick with the flat ones. Okay. So I'll show you in a second how to do that one as well. All right. So we have our bag ready. I haven't cut anything yet because I don't want my chocolate to pour out. One good way, if you don't have extra hands, use a tall glass. It could be plastic, it could be glass. It literally doesn't matter. I'm running out of space. Okay, so just kind of pop that in there, cover this over. Okay, just so you can get your hands free. And now we're gonna put in the chocolate in there. All right. So
Melanie, we had someone ask if you can decorate them when they are warm, like if you have to, or can you make the waffles first and then decorate them later?
you can decorate them later. When they're freshly out of the waffle maker, they are kind of mushy. So sometimes it is a little bit harder to decorate them while they're kind of hot. So it's actually better if you let them sit for a minute and then decorate them. So you can do that as well. Not a problem. The only thing that you have to remember is when you are dipping and working with chocolate and you're trying to put on like sprinkles or anything like that, you want to make sure the chocolate is kind of wet before you do that. All right. Now we have our chocolate in there and we're going to go ahead and cut a little bit. Always go small with your cuts. You don't want to, cut a big giant hole and everything pours out and then there goes that. You can always go bigger, right? So just start small. Let's see, maybe about there. Okay. So now I'm going to drizzle my blueberries. Okay, so you kind of hold it between your thumb and your finger and you can kind of wrap it around. and you just squeeze until it comes out. And okay, so I need to go a little bit bigger because it's hard for the chocolate chip to come out. So it needs to be a little bit bigger. All right, let's try it again. Okay, and you can kind of just drizzle over it just like that and let it dry. Okay, we can do our banana as well. Let's see, let's do maybe a crazier drizzle on one side, and then we will decorate it with our sprinkles. So while it's wet, I'm gonna go and sprinkle over whatever it is that I want to put on there. All right. And you can mix and match colors. You can do, blue and then bring in greens. Um, Literally, the possibilities are endless. Okay. And you just have to let it kind of sit there and dry. So I'm gonna maybe add a little bit more color on this one. Okay. So we have our fruit, we have our regular chocolate one, and now I'm going to show you our fancy Ziploc bag technique here, which is literally the same concept. Before I forget, this kind of becomes a pain sometimes when you forget. So if you have your chocolate already in the bag, you don't want it to get firmed up in the bag, then you have to cut the bag, and it's easier if once it's kind of still melted and you're like, I'm already done with this. Go ahead and pour it back into your bowl. All right, you can pour it back into your bowl, store it that way, or you can even get like molds, like the silicone molds. It doesn't have to be any particular shape or size, and squeeze your chocolate in there. Sorry, it's making farty noises over here. In the mold, so it's easier later on for you guys to remelt them. Okay, so just a side note there. All right, so back to our Ziploc bag. Same concept. You want to kind of hover over, give yourself hands-free to work with, and now we're going to do our purple chocolate. And we're going to just pour it in there, same way we did with the piping bag. All right, get it all in. Flip it over and try to get it in one corner. Okay, so just kind of bring everything to that one corner. Sometimes you might want to zip it back up, because sometimes when you're piping away, you're all excited, chocolate starts kind of crawling back up and then like comes out. So that's one way of making sure that doesn't happen. All right, and same thing, you want to start cutting the edge. Go very small first. All right, make sure it's the size that you want, and go from there. So now we're going to do this one over here, and maybe we'll do swirls, little circly pattern like that. Can you guys see it? I'm going to move that over, and maybe we'll do straight lines, just kind of going over the lines that the waffle already has as a guide. Okay, maybe something like that, and then we can put our fruits in there. You can add nuts in there. You can literally add whatever you guys want. So it's just however you want to be creative, you can do that. You can play tic-tac-toe, maybe with a raspberry or a blueberry. That's always fun, especially when kids are involved. Any way to get them to eat healthier stuff, right? Playing games. Kind of like that. And if we want to make it even more fancy, we can go ahead and drizzle, put on our sprinkles, just like that. And again, you want to do it while the chocolate is kind of wet so it sticks to it, okay? All right. And if you're using this for like breakfast, you don't have to necessarily wait for the chocolates to dry off before eating. You can go ahead and start, obviously cutting away and eating it. If this is for a snack or some sort of dessert for a party, then you definitely wanted to let it sit for a minute, make sure the chocolate is nice and hard, and then kind of go from there. Okay. And depending on how you guys make these, you can even wrap them, put them in clear plastic bags. They're like little, what are they called? They're not, I guess they're goodie bags. They're kind of long and clear. They're specifically for food. And I know Michael's has them too. And you can put these inside the bag and then kind of tie them with a cute little bow. And that could be a fun little party treat. All right. So we have, let's see, we are a little bit early, but this is pretty much how we make our waffles, our gourmet waffles on a stick. All right. They're, like I said, they're really fun. You can make them super fancy. You can make them simple. You can make them healthy just with fruits and not even, introduce chocolates or anything like that. Just bringing in different colors. I'm going to put this one on there as well. And they're kind of ready to go for the kids or for the adults. I love these and my kids love these, but this is pretty much how we make them. Do you guys have any comments or any questions, or do you want to see something a little bit different? Here's your chance. We are a little bit early, so if you guys want to see something different, please let me know in the chat, and Nicole will kind of get that message to me because my eyes are bad and I can't read the screen.
I just shared the treat bag to the
Oh,
chat.
perfect. Okay,
Mhm.
cool. Thank you so much. Yeah, those are always fun. Sometimes like I'll do stuff like this. My son's in soccer. Um, uh, and I'm sure if you guys have kids in soccer, parents take turns for snacks. And when it's my turn, I try to do something fun like this and not buy the chips and all the unhealthy stuff. But all right. Well, this is pretty much the class. This is kind of the technique that you would use. Again, I try to keep it kind of simple and show you guys the process step by step. And you can definitely, now that you know how to make these, take this to a whole different level and have so much fun with it. And please make sure to tag me if you guys do take pictures. I would love to see how they come out. My Instagram is Wild Bakes, or you guys could tag obviously Michael's hashtag Michael's classes or make it with Michael's. I'll definitely be able to see that as well. And let's see. So the class today has been recorded and it will get posted on Michael's YouTube channel, I believe within the next 48 hours or so. So if you want to go back and rewatch the video, it's free and it's up there and you guys can do that, okay, in the next day or so. And again, as a reminder, my next class is September 12th. And that one is super different. We're going nut free, gluten free, dairy free. We're making cakes and buttercreams. All right. So if you're interested in that, don't forget to sign up. And if you guys don't have any more questions, thank you so much for joining me today. I know this was a little bit different than all the things that I've been sharing in the last couple months. And yeah. Hope you guys have a good rest of your day, and I'll see you in the next class. All right. Bye, guys.